gonna be like Godfather.
Yeah.
She's gonna come
Not
back
that.
like 20 years later.
All right, you're good.
Woo! All right, so we're live.
All right, woo!
That was unenthused.
Woohoo!
There you go.
So hey, welcome to our Nest Kid Show. I'm Lucas.
I'm Mark.
I'm Travis.
I'm Derek.
I'm Doug.
He's talking.
And behind the camera.
Oh, boy.
It's Rashad.
Why can you not just say your name?
It's the wizard.
Good, but I'm right here. So take it away.
So, all right. So hey, we're coming back off a long hiatus. It's been a couple of weeks. So we're gonna open up with a book club. Our book club this month, God Loves Man Kills. Classic X-Men story. So who wants to go first?
How about you? Because you're the youngest.
Yeah.
So I will say, as
I
someone
think
who,
I read it first go around.
as someone who was not really much exposed to the X-Men comic books growing up, I think this is one of the first times that I've actually it sunk in the difference between superheroes and mutants, and really what they are. Because superheroes is more like a one-off. This person has some ability that they can do, and nobody else can. Whereas mutants, it's like a gene that is spread across this whole group of people, right? It's like an ethnicity or a race. It's something you're born with. You don't really control it at all. It's just you have it or you don't. And it completely changes how people think about you. It's like, oh, there's this group of people that they can do stuff that I can't, so I don't like them anymore. And it's even and they even play it on this. The whole you might have a mutant gene and not even know about it.
Yeah.
And near the end of this book, it actually happens where they use this weapon and they use him to do some damage to mutants, and all of a sudden one of the people that was hunting mutants starts getting infected, and they're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, it's like being what 1%. What was it? 1% what?
At 1%. Well, it was 20. No, it was 19%.
No.
Northwestern. Yeah.
No, I thought you did one of the. Never mind. Anyways,
We don't know. He was 19% broadly Western Europe. Is that your genre?
no.
Ancestry.
Weren't you like 1% like Cambodian or something?
Oh, 1%. Yeah, 1%. Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like you just never know what you have and what you don't have. I mean, there's just so much spread out among people. So that's the one big takeaway that I had. I think this really actually made a difference.
Well, one cool thing was that when Lucas and I we bumped into each other at the comic book store to buy it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy a new copy," and I was like, "I doubt they have it here, even in a reprint form, because when I purchased it, it was a large format graphic novel, which meant it was like this big, this wide. It was a huge book.
Oh, really?
Back when that was a rarity that you got something like that. It was a nicer paper. Back when comic books otherwise was just garbage as far as physical print and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, "No, I don't have it." And he pulls this off the shelf. I'm like, "Oh." But as far as so that was kind of a neat thing about the formatting of how things have changed. But as far as the story, you're right. And it also made me think of a argument or disagreement that I had with someone a few months ago about the X-Men as metaphor for gay people, because that's how it's, or any minority.
Yeah, I actually likened this on civil rights and stuff.
Yeah, so the person,
Superheroes.
right, and so the person felt that correlation was kind of old-fashioned. And I just really disagreed with him. I was like, I don't know what kind of young attitude you're coming with. Because he was saying he wanted more LGBT X-Men, and I was like, and then I named off several, and he was like, no, we need more. And I'm thinking, I don't.
You can't make everybody.
Yeah, I was like,
it kind of takes away from
They
it.
kind of shoot more nice man in there.
And plus, I really feel like there's such a good, parallel for gay people specifically that I didn't feel the need for there to be, significantly more of, within it.
Right.
And so, God Loves Man Kills really just kind of cements that idea that they speak for, for the for minorities in general. Plus, it's an early story with Kitty Pryde. She's like my favorite X-Man, and it's kind of neat to go back and look at her before she is this super capable leader that she is now. And she's in one of her, I don't know if she was Ariel's party, I can't remember. But one of her older, very bad costumes, bless her heart. Yeah, so it's really just a great book. And if anyone is a fan of the X-Men, and especially if you're picking up them now as you're going through this major transformation we're going to talk about soon, this is a key story in their history.
It was. I wanted to hear. I, in full disclosure, did not get to read it again.
Ooh.
All right, yeah. And but I'm sure I read it first and told because that was before I stopped reading X-Men. So,
And some of the characters in it, were picked up in the movie, and some of the themes in the first X-Men movie, or the first couple of X-Men movies. So it's just.
but I will comment.
Yeah, that's the
on
original
something.
cover.
Okay, I will comment on something you just said. Why do you suppose Kitty Pryde had so many names? Why could they not just leave it alone or just pick one and stick with it?
I
You
think
do that with a lot of
Yeah,
characters.
I think that-
has changed.
She did have a lot of names. I mean, Storm has always been Storm. I mean, if you look at her, you're right. She had Ariel and Sprite, and Shadowcat, and then plain old Kitty Pryde. And then,
I like it because it kind of shows her growth. I think Shadowcat is her best name. I wish she still went with it. But I think it's probably maybe the fact that she was so young, and it was really about her maturity through the X-Men. So, she was the little kid that came on to the scene. Then she was trained to be a ninja, so she had this kind of older thing. Then she, grew up and saved the whole planet, so she's been through a lot. So, kind of makes sense to me.
yeah, she was
a bullet.
herself.
Yeah.
she was a bullet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The universe. I'm glad they brought her back because I thought she was dead, never be seen again. So I'm glad they brought her
Nobody's
back.
ever really dead. Right?
Except for Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben's still dead, yeah. Doug, did you get a chance to read it?
I did read it, and I actually enjoyed the hell out of it because I've not read an X-Men comic that I've liked in years. And it was nice to go down memory lane. I've not read this before ever. I figured, based on the essays in the back of the, or should I say interviews in the back, that it was meant to be like, if this was the only X-Men story you ever read, this is the one to do it with. It was like a mandate, and I thought it was really interesting. There was some. So you guys, this is just one thing. You guys were talking about the leotard and the helmet from this cover and all that, and you guys were talking about him at length as far as like Xavier being a douche, and I'm wondering if, because when I read this, I was like, this story is so essential, like mandated X-Men story to read, that it could almost exist outside of continuity. I'm wondering if old dude put that little element in there to make it in continuity, because the Xavier that's in there, I'd never seen before. Cyclops is the one that actually reins him in at the end. It makes him realize that you need to stay true to what you had it right the first time. Don't change it. Don't change a dream to fit the facts, kind of thing. And so Cyclops, and I like this story mostly because when I was a kid, I liked Cyclops a lot. I thought, he was, and that scene where he corrects Xavier at the very end. I want to say corrects. I want to say that encourages Xavier to stick to his guns. That was like the best Cyclops panel ever. And there was no Jean Grey in this, which I thought was nice because apparently she takes on her absence made me realize how much baggage she actually has on the team, and how much backstory you have to have. Talking about your thing about Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde to me was always okay. So like way back when Robin was first introduced with Batman, all the kids loved Robin because it was like you could. I'm sorry. Let me back up. All the kids hated Robin because they didn't understand the idea of what Robin was actually for. He actually looked like a big old decoy. Okay. Right. And he was really there to take all the bullets. And so but in terms of sales, all the editors and publishers cared about was the fact that the Robin got in that Batman book, sales went up like 50%. So we're keeping sidekicks, right? And I feel like Kitty Pryde was that, and that's the reason. Because I'm cynical. I mean, I'm not gonna front. I'm pretty cynical when it comes to the X-Men and because I love them so much. But at the same time, it's like they kept trying to rebrand the shit out of her, man. And that's how I read it. But like I said, I love you guys' interpretation. It's very romantic. My interpretation is very, very cynical and hateful. And I mean, she's like, I mean, I went so far as when I read this, that Magneto's on one end of the spectrum and Kitty's on the other, and Xavier was the one sliding, right? Instead of how they do it in the movies where Xavier's on one end and Magneto's on the other, right? So, you know, I really, like I said before, I really enjoyed it. The third thing, and I love this so much, is because I'm a big Brent Anderson fan because of Astro City. Reading this, it was almost like reading Astro City if Chris Claremont wrote an issue. So that was like, because I mean, I get misty-eyed when I, you know, with Astro City. So it was just really nice seeing Brent Anderson, and then the essay in the back. So this book is really worth getting because of the interviews in the back, because it's where the gravy is, you know. For them, you know, where that's where the real nutrition is. They talk about Neil Adams turned this book down, and Neil Adams,
a genius.
Yes, and I was like when I saw that Neil Adams turned this book down out of sheer principle, which I get, it made me sad in the sense that I would have loved to have seen Neil Adams in a Chris Claremont kind of thing, but at the same time too. I have this. Brent Anderson is like he hung the moon as far as like superhero work goes. He can really do anything. He's like a meat and potatoes actor. You know, like those actors you see in all those shows. Right. You know, he's that kind of artist when it comes to superheroes and stuff. You know. So, but yeah, I love the hell out of this. I've never read it before.
It's actually in my list of top favorite books of all time. So.
Yeah, when you guys mentioned it last time, I was like, I can't believe I never read it. So I got it off of Comixology and totally binged it. Yeah. So.
And the X-Men specialist himself.
I wouldn't say specialist.
Don't front. Don't front.
Enthusiast. Wait, aficionado.
I mean, obviously I liked it. No, but what it is this story, it's funny, you know, you talk about the interviews, you know, in the forward with Chris Claremont, and he talks about, so he was writing from a perspective of some time after he'd written this, but still in the past, right? And he was talking about they're still dealing with issues that were presented in this, you know, in this.
Yeah.
And then we're looking like some, even, you know, 10, 15, however many years later on, and we're still dealing with all of this. You know, it's just, and I think that's when the X-Men is best, is when it looks at the human condition from the view of, you know, from the view outside humanity. And I'll talk about this when we talk about Hickman's run too. But just to see, you know, I mean, that sometimes you have to step outside of yourself to really understand. And I think that God Loves Men Kills really does a good job of that. I know that, you know, the Purifiers have been portrayed later on, like in The Gifted. You know, they brought in the Purifiers in the second season, and it got really old hat because it didn't have the same. It wasn't. I'm trying to put my words on it. So in this one, it was almost idealistic fervor. You know, that's what the Purifiers ended up being, which makes sense. It kind of rings true. You know, I mean, you can kind of see that. In the Gifted season 2, I think they went a little too far, and it was more just like militaristic hatred. You know, which I think can become a caricature. You know, and the thing about this is none of it is caricature. None of it is so far fetched that you're just like, Yep, I'm reading a comic. Okay. And and subliminally, you're thinking, yeah, whatever. All right, that's a little too far fetched. Like this could have happened then. This could happen today. I mean, you see
feels dangerous.
It does.
Yep.
It does. That's a good way to put it. I mean, it's totally legal. It totally could happen. Replace mutants with X, and still, it could happen. I don't know that I could expound it any better than what y'all said. I'll agree with everything that's been said so far. We kind of have the same thoughts. But it is. It's one of my favorite X-Men stories, and it is. It's just because it rings so true, and it's just really well done. So.
Love it.
So speaking of which, all right. So let's go ahead and announce our next book club.
We were gonna let we were hoping Chris Lawson would be back for this episode. We were gonna let him Lawson. We do miss you, but I'm gonna steal your book club spot since you're not here. I've actually been reading, and I'll talk a little bit more about TKO Studios when we get to comic books, but I just picked up this book a couple weeks ago. I literally read through it in like the first day because I didn't want to put it down. It's called Sara, and I'm not going to go too much into it. Top level, it is about a Soviet sniper kill squad made of all women during World War II, hunting Nazis. And it follows one particular girl who's kind of like the lone wolf of the group, Sara, through this kind of ordeal that they all end up going through. So it's written by Garth Ennis. Did I say that right? Okay.
Very good.
Garth Ennis. And this is the first time I've read work by him that was not like a shock and awe, take everything to the limit kind of book with, Preacher and the boys have kind of, shown how far he's willing to go in a comic to really get you to feel about certain things. And this was just a great story in my opinion. So I'm excited to get everybody's opinion on it after they read it. But I'll talk a little bit more about TKO Studios later. So